Hello ladies and welcome. In case you missed the last video, we covered the topic of sharing God with others. In this, the 8th and final video of the series, we are exploring suffering for Him. When I say suffering for Him, I mean difficulties we endure as Christians as a result of our faith. In 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16, it sums up our suffering by saying, "Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in that name." Sometimes being a Christian isn't easy. Sometimes standing up and declaring our faith can be scary and hard. There are many types of suffering Christians may endure. Because not everyone agrees with Christian virtue, believers can sometimes become targets of mockery, intolerance, and violence. But even with all of the hardships we might have to live through, we should never lose sight of who we have in our corner. So we should be willing to sacrifice for Him and to put Him first in all aspects of life and take bold actions to reveal to the world our stance on God and our beliefs about morality, walking with Christ, and what we know is wrong and right. And we can be confident in expressing our stance to the world, because when we choose to suffer for God and not take the easy way, the way that the rest of the world wants us to behave and just shut up, sit down, and tolerate all the things God finds intolerable, we gain His favor, and He stays present with us and covers us. An example of this protection was described in Daniel chapter 3, verse 25. He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the fourth looks like a son of the gods." In this passage, the fourth figure is believed to be a divine figure sent to protect Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the fire they were thrown into for standing up to the king Nebuchadnezzar. His protection is one of the upsides of suffering for God. Your faith in Him draws you nearer to Him, and you'll have the ultimate champion always in your corner. So when you experience the hardships that come along with your adversity, you'll always have the security and strength. Where others give up because the suffering gets too hard, you'll always walk in courage because you'll have the constant presence of your protector. You'll have access to Him, and He will help you to navigate through tough situations and to give you the wisdom and the words to communicate and make the choices required when you are called to speak out. And remember, when you suffer for Him, it's unlikely that you'll come out the other end unscathed, and you'll most likely end up with some bruising, either physically or emotionally, or maybe even both. But it'll all be worth the effort, because you'll come out of the other end of your suffering with a depth of maturity and grit and steadfastness that those who stay silent and play it safe will never know. I hope that you've enjoyed this 8-week series where we've been discussing the 8 steps involved in walking with Christ. Just to recap, the steps are to be born again, to pray, to listen to Him, to believe in Him, to obey Him, to love Him, to share Him, to serve Him, and lastly, to suffer for Him. Please comment below and let me know what you thought of this series. If you have any suggestions for future series, if you have any questions about what we've covered, and please, if you've missed any of the videos, go back and rewatch them, and that way you can see how they all tie together in your walk with Christ. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.